Their new home stood as an enduring testament to eras long gone, its history whispering through every crack and crevice. The ancient stone walls seemed to hold onto echoes of past inhabitants, breathing memories with each chilling gust that swept through the corridors. David and Maria, despite the foreboding presence of the house, were enchanted by its mystery and its promise of seclusion, unaware of the shadows that lurked behind the facade. Lily, their insightful daughter, however, felt the weight of those shadows immediately. On their first day in the house, after the last box had been unpacked, Lily wandered into the sprawling garden, a place untouched, wild, hemmed in by towering firs. Her footsteps seemed to stir the silence in a way that made even the leaves tremble. It was amidst this quietude that Lily found herself drawn to a spot at the far end of the garden, a place thickly shrouded by untamed, gnarled branches. Returning to the house, Lily sat alone in her new bedroom, a place she should have felt comforted and safe, and began to sketch. Her hand moved instinctively, guided by whispers only she could hear, creating images of a room that sat starkly different from any she had seen. David and Maria watched Lily's sketch come to life, a room with peculiar wallpaper, a hearth beset by age, and a window that seemed to watch rather than illuminate. But none of this existed in the house they bought, at least not visibly. As dusk settled, Lily's sketch caught Maria's eye. "That's no room in this house," she said, half comforted by the impossibility her mind assured her. Lily, instinct still sharp and unyielding, reasoned otherwise. "It's here," Lily asserted softly, a chill in her voice that made her mother shudder in the gathering dark. Guided by something unseen, Lily led her parents down a hallway none remembered having walked before, past doors they swore had not existed. The journey halted at a large wooden door, untouched by modern tools, bathed in the gray light of the encroaching night. Behind it lay the room, the one Lily had drawn. Maria's heart raced as she stood at the edge of the room, watching Lily and David cautiously approach the box. The crystalline surface was cold to the touch, and the man inside looked eerily peaceful, his features as sharp as the day he was laid to rest. Lily pointed at the symbols etched into the stone walls, ancient, indecipherable runes that seemed to pulse with an unseen energy. "He speaks to me," she whispered, "through the drawings, in dreams." Maria felt a chill run down her spine, but David was transfixed, drawn to the mystery. "Why did you never mention this before, Lily?" he murmured in awe. Lily shrugged, her eyes never leaving the coffin. "He told me to wait," she said softly. "Wait until the right moment. It's huge." An undeniable dread filled the air, yet there was an unexplainable pull. Maria noticed the light above was growing stronger, illuminating the runes which seemed to shimmer and dance with life. "Who is he?" David finally asked, voice trembling. Lily locked her gaze onto her brother's, her expression a mixture of fear and reverence. "He is the keeper," she breathed. Maria exhaled shakily, her mind racing with questions she didn't dare ask. Suddenly, Lily's expression shifted. "He's waking up," she said. Maria and David stepped back instinctively as the man in the coffin stirred. His eyes opened slowly, revealing an abyss of darkness that swallowed any light. A low rumble started, filling the room, vibrating through their bones. The stranger stood, impossibly alive, and glanced around, finally resting his gaze on Lily. Lily seemed calm, like she had been expecting him, but Maria and David couldn't suppress their growing terror. As dawn broke, the mountain shadows played tricks on the eyes of those who dared venture into its depths. Maria, a hardy explorer eager for discovery, joined the team as they descended into a forgotten cavern. A thin scream pierced the silence as they uncovered a coffin, its frozen occupant forever staring into the beyond, preserved in unnerving clarity. David, the youthful yet jaded anthropology researcher from Columbia, felt his pulse quicken. His eyes danced across the scene, struggling to reconcile the prehistoric air of the figure with the man-made adornments that wrapped around its body. Caught between disbelief and terror, he whispered, "How is this even possible? Who did this?" Ancient clothes, but modern craftsmanship. An unsettling chill crept up his spine as Maria gazed upon the face of the frozen man, her scream still echoing within the cavern walls. A box, weathered and worn, sat alongside the coffin, a silent sentinel filled with scrolls, maps, and peculiar chemical formulas. The scrolls, delicate and frail, were brought upwards to the world above, a world waiting for revelation. They soon found themselves in the hands of David's old professor, a man whose mind was as sharp as the mountain's edge. Hours unfolded in hushed silence as inked symbols spoke their ancient truths. The translation of these scrolls melted the resolve of those who dared to look further. He was preserved intentionally, a kind of time capsule, a survival experiment during a catastrophic event thousands of years ago. Anxiety snaked its way into the hearts of the explorers as they faced the somber truth at the bottom of one parchment, the words faded yet defiant in their vivid red warning, "Do not open. If he wakes, the world will forget what it means to sleep." Silence claimed dominion over the darkening room, a spectral hush tainted by threat. Suspense hung heavy, daring them to breach the barrier between knowledge and oblivion. That night, within the oppressive silence of their ancient mansion, a family thrived under the illusion of normalcy, yet benign whispers of abnormality lingered just on the fringes of their awareness. It began with a sound. From the depths of the old house, the basement, a low, terrifyingly human breathing twisted through the still air. Then, a shiver of glass being disturbed reached through the dark, almost like a skeletal finger clawing at the veil between life and death. Lily, tormented in her sleep, shrieked into consciousness. "He's waking up." I saw his eyes move. David, fueled by adrenaline and dread, charged down the labyrinthine stairwell, his heart a wild animal caged within his chest. There, in the sepulchral coldness of the basement, the coffin, a grotesque relic, revealed its secret. The glass lid bore a splintering crack, a cry of protest from the inside out. The terror of that waking night seeped into the marrow of their existence, tainting the air they breathed. Lights waged a war of visibility, flickering their disdain for human comfort. Footsteps reverberated, a ghostly march resounding with an absence of feet. Innocent Lily, now a claimed vessel, scrawled markings of otherness, symbols and visages both alien and inarticulable. Maria, caught in an eternal pursuit, glimpsed specters playing elusive games at the edge of corridors. David, a pillar of rationalism, found himself unraveling, his mind a tapestry being undone thread by thread. He jotted feverishly through crumbling pages, a futile attempt to decipher or perhaps deny. "He's not human," became his mantra in the emptiness of midnight musings. He doesn't belong here. He transcends any notion of place, even time. And then Lily, the unwitting harbinger, spoke in tones and sounds no human tongue should grasp. He was meant to sleep forever. But we woke him up, and he can't rest again until someone else takes his place. The chilling prophecy hangs suspended in the stifling air, untouched yet already reaching into the recesses of their frayed sanity, promising the inescapable exchange that lingered just ahead. Maria and Lily walked the path leading to their lonely house, nestled in the shadows of a towering forest. The sun had barely dipped behind the trees, but the lingering daylight eased Maria's nerves only slightly. Her husband David's disappearance a week prior had left an indelible mark, a haunting blend of grief and unease. No one believed her tales of the missing coffin in the basement or the unfathomable footprints that led into the woods. The locals had murmured behind her back. A cryptic legend was tied to the very earth beneath them, an ancient figure, a guardian, or a curse. He appeared every few decades, they said, to reclaim what was his. Was it despair that led David away, or was something insidious truly at work? As Maria tucked Lily into bed that night, the child's gaze remained unfocused, fixed on the forest beyond their window. "He chose Daddy," Lily whispered, her voice barely audible but laden with certainty. "So he could go back to sleep." Sleep eluded Maria, evading her despite the exhaustion that crept through her bones. An oppressive silence pressed down upon the house. She lay in bed, watching shadows dance across the walls, shapes that seemed to twist and crawl in ways shadows shouldn't. In the witching hours, when time becomes fluid and the world feels unhinged, Maria ventured down to the basement. Her heart pounded an erratic rhythm as she descended into the dark, half expecting, half dreading what she might find. The scent of earth and stone filled her nostrils. Something was amiss. In the cold dirt lay the remnant outline of the coffin. Once a sanctuary for the dead, now merely an empty tomb. And there, upon the packed earth, were the footprints. Larger than any man could make, they led straight to the open basement door and vanished into the waiting forest. It was morning when the police confirmed what Maria already knew in her marrow. David was gone, but this was no ordinary disappearance. Not a single trace of a struggle, no scattered belongings. Just the silence of the forest, now harboring secrets deeper than their roots. As days turned to weeks, the whispers began anew. Tales of a towering figure glimpsed at dawn, distant yet palpable, his eyes radiating an unnatural glow. He lingered, some claimed, outside homes, drawn to the gentle breaths of those slumbering within, a guardian, or perhaps a thief of souls. Beneath the ground, the sounds of stone grinding against glass can sometimes be heard by those brave, or foolish enough, to listen. It's a melody of unease that resonates with only those who've lost someone to the forest. An eerie lullaby that sings of stories yet to end and dreams that may one day awaken the sleeping. Whether these tales are woven from truth or fear, the boundary between reality and legend remains blurred. In places where the earth itself breathes stories, a missing man might be only the beginning, or an end. Sleep, after all, is never truly eternal.